Will altcoins still see a parabolic season? Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay guys, welcome to the channel. Before we do get into our altcoin video today, make sure to check out our main YouTube channel, MegaWhale Crypto. This is going to be the link down below. It will take you to our primary channel where we post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical and the structural information. If you want even more content, you can join us on Telegram. It is the third link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, and of course, everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and of course, the relevant economic news. And if you want to take it even a step further, you can join our private VIP. We post trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, and exclusive analysis, as well as access to 5 different group chats. If that is what you're interested in, contact us in the pinned comment of the free channel for more information. Without further ado, let's dive into our altcoin analysis. Okay, MegaWhale team, let's go ahead and jump on in. And in today's video, we are taking a look at the total 3 market cap, discussing altcoin performance, what is happening on the charts, will altcoins go into their parabolic phase, how the short term is developing, the key trigger points you should be paying attention to, and potential lower targets in case Bitcoin continues downwards. So we have a whole bunch to discuss today, guys. We're going to jump right into the video. So as you can see, this is our total 3 market cap. And what we have noticed on this chart is there is a 5-step pattern that we followed in prior cycles, and we've basically followed in every cycle. And this 5-step pattern has 2 components. It has a technical component and it has a structural component. The technical component is a representation of the strength of the price action, or how the volatility, momentum, and of course volume of that price action is developing during each segment of our structural pattern, which is a 5-stage segment. And our structural pattern is of course the key trigger points that we would need to break above or below to change the overall trend that we have developed through the particular period of time we are observing. So let's go ahead and explain that. The structural pattern follows. We have our dead cat bounce high, which is point number 1. We have our bear market resistance, which is point number 2. We have our horizontal consolidation after the breakout of the bear market, which is point number 3. We have a continuation into the uptrend, which is the start of the bull run for altcoins. This is phase number 4, where we see a lot of altcoins do very, very well. And then we finally break through phase number 1 to enter phase number 5, which is the parabolic cycle for altcoins. Taking a look at the current cycle, we can see a very similar pattern. We have got phase number 1, which is a dead cat bounce high. We've got phase number 2, which is the bear market resistance. We have got phase number 3, which is the entrance into, again, the bull run, the initiation, the horizontal consolidation. And then we've got phase number 4, which is the initiation of that bull run. And eventually we will enter a parabolic phase if phase number 1 is able to break. So what we have seen historically is the same 5-step pattern play out in prior cycles. And we are currently still seeing this pattern play out with one major difference. And that major difference is we have invalidated the technical pattern within the structural pattern, which is going to be an indication of the overall strength and development of the price action during this 5-stage pattern. It doesn't invalidate the pattern. We could still see a directional continuation upwards, and we'll still expect a parabolic phase to start for altcoins if we break 840 billion. But it can throw a spanner in the works in regards to, again, the perception of the strength of price action, and thus the expectation of when these certain events will likely unfold. So again, these technical patterns, these technical indicators, which are moving average based indicators based on volatility and momentum of price action, they determine the strength. They are good tools to assess the strength. If we have a large amount of strength, the expectation is that the price action will move up at a faster rate than not. So we can give an overall prediction or projection of when certain events or when certain resistances will break, or when certain supports will be retested. So what we have seen historically is when we enter phase number 3, from that point onwards until the pi cycle top, we see the price action remains above the pi cycle midlines. What we have now seen is we have seen a breakdown of those prior cycle midlines, which did not happen in the prior cycle. We've seen a break underneath the high short, low short EMA, and we have seen a break under the bull market support band, all indicative of developing weakness, exhaustion, and of course a downtrend for altcoins. Now, when we contextualize this, it actually doesn't seem as bad. When we look at it at face value, it of course seems terrible, but let's go ahead and contextualize this by adding our Bitcoin chart on the mix. If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart over here at the bottom, we can see historically when Bitcoin goes to retest and break through that prior all-time high, we can see altcoins are traveling very, very well above that prior cycle midline. In the prior cycle, we saw a very little amount of resistance at that horizontal resistance, and thus volatility, volume, and momentum was enabled to remain relatively high during that period of the breakout. The high volatility, momentum, and strength of price action overall contributed to the fact that the price action was able to sustain above these moving average based indicators, which gave the appearance of strength. It gave the perception of strength of price action, which facilitated a rapid growth in the asset's price and continuation through phase number one. This cycle is very, very different. What we have seen basically for the first time ever is the longest horizontal consolidation during a bull market that Bitcoin has ever seen. We have seen a massive amount of consolidation. With consolidation in comparison to expansion, we see decreases in volatility, decreases in momentum, decreases in volume, which all go to equate a decrease in strength. If we see this happen over a period of time, we have a massive decrease or contrast in the developing momentum within this phase in comparison to the past, which causes these moving average based indicators to essentially flip bearish and break down. That says nothing about the structural integrity of the trend, more so the developing strength. And if we start to see those indicators turn bearish, the probability is that the price will follow through. Remember, they are lagging indicators. So what we have seen here is an invalidation of that technical pattern. But what we haven't seen, and this is the most important thing, this is why I'm still bullish on altcoins to some degree, I've got optimism, is that we haven't seen an invalidation of the structural formation, the structural pattern we had in prior cycles. Again, the invalidation now for this structural pattern is two things. Number one, I'd like to introduce our partner Butunix. Butunix is a global non-KYC, no country restriction exchange, making it a perfect exchange to trade on if you're from the USA, from Canada, the Netherlands, or just prefer to trade without KYC. This exchange is a futures and spot exchange with over 200 different trading pairs and some of the lowest fees in the game. If you sign up with my link down below, you'll get access to 15% off your trading fees, as well as an exclusive reward center where you can claim up to a multitude in USDT prizes. So go ahead and sign up with my link down below for 15% off, and I'll see you in there. We would need to see Bitcoin break below its bull run uptrend. A loss of the bull run uptrend would result in a high time frame downtrend for the entire cryptocurrency market, and again, altcoins being speculative investments as they are, very, very unlikely altcoins will recover if that occurs. And number two, we would need to see the total market cap, okay? The total market cap, the total 3 market cap would need to break under phase number 2. A break below phase number 2 would invalidate this uptrend into phase number 1, and that would be basically game over for altcoins if that were to occur. Those would be the 2 invalidation points of this. If we were looking for a parabolic phase, again, we need to break above our phase number 1 to enter the parabolic phase. The technical pattern we have followed has done 2 things. It has changed the expectation of time in reference to the cyclical pattern we have followed. The expectation of when we will break through certain resistances, or if we will at all, has been altered. And number 2, it has removed the element of certainty and added an element of unknowingness based on the fact that we have actually lost a technical pattern that we have been following in the past. Again, it doesn't invalidate the possibility for a parabolic season, but it makes it less certain. It makes it less, I would say, more risky, if you had to say it in a very easy way. So let's go down now and talk about, well, what would need to happen here for altcoins to flip properly bullish? What would we need to see to drive confidence back into the market and expect continuations rather than retracements? So let's take a look at this, guys. What we can see over here is we have a downtrend on the RSI. Obviously, this is expected as per what we have said in the past. We have seen decreases in volume. Basically, every metric of strength has been decreasing. We see momentum decrease. The price has been in a downtrend. We have got our horizontal trigger point here. We have got our 840 billion parabolic trigger point, and we've got our sell side liquidity, which is a bearish continuation trigger point. A break above this RSI trend line in conjunction with a break of our downtrend, both happening at the same time or relatively close together, will validate a continuation upwards into this resistance to retest our prior highs. If we retest our prior highs, it is highly likely we will be pushing through 840 billion and officially entering a parabolic phase. For that to occur, Bitcoin will need to break through its 72k resistance. This would need to happen prior to those things occurring. It will not happen first. This would have to happen first. Okay. If we saw Bitcoin continue downwards, it is unlikely altcoins will do this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this again. If we were to see a continuation downward, what we'll be looking for? We will be looking for a break under our sell side liquidity. That would validate a continuation into our next support level. We do have a minor support at around the $520 to $530 billion level. That would be our primary support level. Again, watching for liquidity grabs into that region. A loss of that region would validate a directional continuation to phase number 2. And again, a loss of phase number 2 is game over for altcoins. For us to see this occur, Bitcoin would need to break below its bull run uptrend. Again, if we break below the bull run uptrend, everything ends in a macro downtrend. Once more to summarize, while Bitcoin is pushing sideways, it is unlikely altcoins will continue upwards. But however, while Bitcoin is still bullish and above its uptrend, the altcoins do have a chance to recover. If we start to see recovery on Bitcoin, we will likely start to see recovery on altcoins. Those moving average based indicators that broke downwards will likely break back up again as volatility is driven back into the cryptocurrency market, particularly positive volatility. If we start to see the total 3 break through our downtrending diagonal resistances on both the price chart and on the overall oscillators of strength, we will likely see continuations up into the $800 to $840 billion range. And if we break through 840 billion, this will be nothing but a blip in the timeline and we'll be entering that parabolic season. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a fantastic day. I hope that drove some hope back into the market. As always, remain calm, remain objective. You should have decreased your alt exposure. Like we said, if we were looking at over here, just from a technical perspective, we personally decreased our alt exposure. We took profits. We did tell you guys that we would likely see a lot of altcoins go to brand new lows if we break below this level. And we did see that. We saw a whole bunch of altcoins drop 30% just from that small breakdown. The total resulted into 30% drops for most altcoins. We have now seen that. The total is coming towards support. We are starting to see Bitcoin gain some short-term strength, but it is not quite there yet. It is still risky for altcoins. We need to see more. We need to see it go up. We need to see the strength build back up again, or we need to see these lower levels claimed as support to continue. Either way, guys, the technical pattern has been lost. That drives a degree of uncertainty, but the structural pattern, the expectations of the macro directions for altcoins is still bullish. While phase 2 holds, it is still bullish while Bitcoin remains above its uptrend. It is more about when, not if. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.